76ers. Hi, everybody. I'm Al Albert with the horse, of course, Dan Essel. And tonight it is stop number 3 on this 4-game road trip. Nuggets nearly pulling off the upsets in Cleveland and in Boston. And Dan, I think those were the 2 best games the Nuggets played this year.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, Al. In both games, they gave themselves a chance to win it down the stretch. And that's all you can ask when you play on the road.
Tonight, Nuggets in Philadelphia, and it'll be a confrontation of the 2 top scorers in the NBA. The Nuggets' Orlando Woolridge is number 1. And the 76ers' Charles Barkley is number 2, just 0.3 of a point behind Orlando.
Orlando is quickly becoming the steal of the NBA season. Of course, the Nuggets only had to give up 2 second-round draft choices for him. Not only is he scoring an awful lot of points, Al, but because of his quickness, he's been able to get inside for a lot of easy shots, a lot of dunks, and he's shooting a high percentage as well.
Charles Barkley, he's had season highs in his last 2 games. 37 points against Boston, then 32 points against Milwaukee, and he's starting to close the gap.
How do you stop the 76ers? Easy. You slow down Barkley. In the games that he's scored 31 points or more, the 76ers are 9-1. If he scored less, they're 3-5.
It is getting very physical inside on Orlando Woolridge. With a high average, teams now are focusing on Woolridge inside. Tonight, rolling up the sleeves and getting ready for him, none other than Rick Mahorn.
Well, if you're going to be successful in the Eastern Conference, you better be able to play defense. You better have a physical presence, and that's exactly what Mahorn gives the 76ers. In addition to that, he's given them more offense than they expected as well.
This year, the 76ers looking to even get bigger inside, and they've acquired the biggest player in NBA history. Manute Bol joins thump and bump Mahorn and Barkley up front.
And the 76ers had to pay dearly to get Bol, a first-round draft choice. He has given them nothing on the offensive end, but he's given them exactly what the Philadelphia 76ers were looking for, a defensive force in the middle.
Now, the big problem for the Sixers, though, in the backcourt. You remember when we were in Cleveland to start this trip? Cavaliers without their valuable point guard, Mark Price. Johnny Dawkins of the 76ers in just the 4th game of the season went down with the same knee injury, and he is out for the year. So the Sixers will have their hands full tonight with Michael Adams. Everybody has. Since he's come back, Dan, he's been in another stratosphere.
Unbelievable stats for Michael. The 22 points and the 13-plus assists come in just 33 minutes of playing time, which means Michael's responsible for about 3.5 points for the Nuggets every minute he's on the floor.
While it's Woolridge versus Barkley up front, it's going to be Adams against Hersey Hawkins for backcourt points. Hawkins coming to his own, around 21 points per ball game, and Charles Barkley calls him the key to the Sixers ball club.
And I think Charles is absolutely right. Hersey struggled his first year in the NBA, like a lot of rookies have, but ever since then, he's been a very offensive force for the 76ers.
And when Hersey Hawkins is hitting his outside shot, of course, that makes life easier, less double teams inside on Charles Barkley. The Nuggets and the Sixers from the Spectrum coming up next on Channel 2.
Before this, you never heard of cold filtered. Before this, you never heard of genuine draft taste in a bottle.
The Spectrum is the scene for this 3rd game of the 4-game road trip. Nuggets losing in Cleveland down the stretch, likewise in Boston, and they'll head to Charlotte tomorrow night to close out this 4-game trip before returning home Tuesday night at McNichols against Bernard King and the Washington Bullets. We are ready now for the introductions of the lineups as the 76ers and the Denver Nuggets meet for the first time this year. The Sixers will be in Denver just once this season, and that is on a Saturday night, January 5th. The Sixers come into this game, a hot ball club, winning 7 of their last 9 games, including a victory over Milwaukee on Tuesday in overtime. Charles Barkley hitting 2 foul shots with time out to win it by 1, and before that, snapping the Boston Celtics 8-game win streak. Here's the introductions of the Nuggets, starting with Michael Adams and Todd Lichty in the backcourt.
The center in his 6th season from Oregon at 7 feet, number 41, Blair Rasmussen. At 1 forward, his 10th season from Notre Dame at 6'9", double O, Orlando Woolridge. At At the other forward, in his third season from Pittsburgh, at 6'6", number 35, Jerome Lane. The Nuggets, coached by Paul Westhead, his assistants Mike Evans and Jim Boyle. The trainer is Larry Franca. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for your Atlantic Division champion, Philadelphia 76ers. At one guard, his 13th season from Michigan at 6 feet, number 14, Ricky Green. Also in the backcourt, his third season from Bradley at 6'3", number 33, the Hawk, Hersey Hawkins. The center in his 11th season of Duke University, 6'11", number 42, Mike Juminski. At one forward in his second season in Louisville, at 6'8", number 21, Kenny Payne. And at the other forward, in his 7th season of Auburn, at 6'6", number 34, the captain, Charles Barkley.
Jimmy Lynam, last year runner-up, coach of the year behind Pat Riley as he led the 76ers to the Atlantic Division title and 53 wins. A big change made in the starting lineup. Kenny Payne, the second-year man out of Louisville, inserted up front. Rick Mahorn will be coming off the bench. Lynam is very much concerned about the Nuggets running game, and he just doesn't feel that he can go with Barkley, Mahorn, and Juminski up front.
And I think that's one of the plans of Coach Westhead, is to make other teams change the way they're playing when they come up against the Nuggets, and he's already gotten Lynam to do that here tonight.
Last game for Payne, he went 0 for 3, no points in the ball game. There are the referees tonight. Joe Forte, Eddie Rush, and Joe Borgia will be the three working tonight's game. And before tonight's game, the announcement of a spectacular trade made this afternoon. The Phoenix Suns sending Eddie Johnson and 2 first-round picks to the Seattle Supersonics in exchange for their all-star forward, Xavier McDaniel.
Phoenix deciding that the future is now as far as they're concerned, and Xavier McDaniel will make them a very tough team to handle. It will be possession of the Philadelphia 76ers. Sixers come in with a record of 12-6, 2.5 games behind Boston in the Atlantic. The Nuggets now a record of 3-14. Many fans in Boston felt this is the best 3-14 team they've ever seen. Ricky Green finding new life at the age of 36. Was signed as an insurance policy. Adams blows by him but overshoots. And now it's Barkley back the other way. The second leading scorer in the NBA behind Orlando Woolridge. Juminski hasn't been able to find his shot all season. 37% from the floor. Lichty fakes. Got the move on Hawkins. Rasmussen pulls the trigger. And Barkley goes upstairs. Hersey Hawkins. And it's Jerome Lane with a rebound into the hands of Adams, flying on a 3-on-2. Dishes it to Woolridge. I don't think the 76ers really want to get into a running game as Ricky Green now brings it back out. They certainly don't have the bench to match up against the Nuggets bench, and I would be surprised if they really get up and down with the Nuggets tonight.
This is the third game in 4 nights for the Nuggets. It's the third game in 7 nights for the Sixers, so they got to be more rested as Lichty again fakes out Hawkins and walks in.
And Todd's been on fire on this road trip, Al. He's 14 for 21 the first 2 games.
Juminski, who is averaging but 9 points per ball game. Trade rumors circulating around Jaminski. Woolridge, and he walks in. And the Nuggets now putting the ball up very quickly. And it's 6-4 in favor of the Philadelphia 76ers. 2 minutes gone by. Ricky Green in his 13th season out of Michigan finding a home here. Hersey Hawkins from the outside.
Well, Green was acquired for backup for Dawkins, and when Dawkins went down the 4th game of the season, Ricky Green became a very important cog in this 76er wheel.
Signed as an insurance policy for the league minimum. Jerome Lane continues to nail that outside shot. And if he continues to do it even more, it's going to open up the drive to Jerome. Kenny Payne being turned around by Lane. 8-6. Philadelphia leads. Barkley just walks in.
Well, the Nuggets lost track of Barkley that time, and if you're going to lose somebody on defense, anybody but Charles Barkley.
Lichty hits, and he gets an assist for Michael Adams. You saw how Adams drew the defense and then just kicked it off to Todd Lichty wide open. Michael, who is averaging 13.3 assists a game, second in the league, and he is gaining on Magic Johnson, who is number 1 at 13.8. Ricky Green lets it go.
And that time the Nuggets triple teaming Charles Barkley on the low post.
Adams again, his pass back. Woolridge can't field it, and it's a 2-on-0. Hawkins will not do the polite thing, and he takes it himself. 12-8, Philadelphia. Adams for 3. Got it.
And if Michael can start hitting that three-pointer, then watch his statistics go crazy. The other night in Boston, he was 11 for 15 from the two-point range, but that three-pointer hasn't been falling with the accuracy you would expect from Michael Adams.
He was 1 of 9 for three-pointers. He's been averaging about 9 three-point attempts a game. No foul on Lichty. They let it go. Adams almost swiped it. Now Green fakes out Adams. Ricky Green, who has something left in those legs. Adams goes right back and draws the foul. So Michael Adams again taking it to the Philadelphia defense, really putting the pressure on Philadelphia. And right now you don't even realize Charles Barkley is on the floor.
That's exactly what that quickness will do. As Michael beats Ricky Green going to the basket, he'll go to the line for 2 free throws. Interesting story on Ricky Green in the local paper this morning. Said he was planning on playing till he was 50. He said that he was around before the salaries became so astronomical, and he's playing for the minimum, as you mentioned, this year. He wants to play long enough to get some of that real money.
The last couple of seasons he bounced around with 3 teams. Milwaukee, Indiana, and Charlotte. Said he really didn't play much in the last 2 years. It's a 4-on-1. Payne goes in and blows it, but a whistle and a foul on Blair Rasmussen. It's number 1 on Rasmussen. So I guess Ricky Green, figuring he's well rested, as you see Payne once again. Rasmussen left all alone, as has been the story on many occasions this year. Kenny Payne, first-round draft pick last year out of Louisville. 19th player selected in the first round. He had teamed with Purvis Ellison, and the Cardinals not paying any dividends at all last season, now getting his shot. This is his second start of the year.
Well, he's only shooting 37% from the field, but he remains perfect for the season from the free throw line. He's now 10 of 10.
It goes into Woolridge, who's being guarded by Barkley. Lichty, he fires for 3. Barkley, who is ranked high in the rebounds at 10 per ball game, and looking for the assist. He puts it. Hersey Hawkins has 6 points and goes to the foul line.
Well, we've seen Todd do this himself so many times. Now he's on the receiving end as Hawkins goes up, double clutches it. We'll take another look at it. A pretty bounce pass through the defense by Barkley. The basket and the chance for the three-point play.
Hawkins could talk with Chris Jackson. Hawkins, his first season, the rookie, very tentative on the floor, is now really coming into his own. And you certainly see the same things in Chris Jackson here in his first season. Woolridge lets it fly. Jerome Lane and Rasmussen double team on Jaminski, and now it's Ricky Green flying. Barkley, the offensive board, led the league in that category last year.
And it doesn't look like Charles could get 6 inches off the ground, but he does a great job at his size. The 9th leading rebounder in the NBA so far.
21-13 in favor of Philadelphia. It turns out to be a nice pass by Rasmussen to Lichty. Consider the fact we've only played 5 minutes. The Sixers already with 21 points on the board, and the Nuggets with 15. Ricky Green. Now the question, without Johnny Dawkins, Green seeing all that time at the age of 36, what happens when they have to rest him? Jaminski lets it fly, continues to be well off, and now it is Adams too long for Lichty.
That pass skipped a little bit. It just didn't come up as quick as it should have, and Todd not able to catch up with it.
Timeout at the Spectrum with 6.5 to go in the first quarter, and it happened.
Come on, guys.
Why is the Polar Bear Club having so much fun this winter?
There's no crowds. The water's perfect.
And what's got them really excited is Pepsi's Winter Cool Collection. 6 great designs that celebrate what some people consider the best time of year.
So come on out. And you'll never need a cooler.
Get them now, because they'll be gone with the snow.
I love it.
Presented by the authority of the NBA and the Denver Nuggets, and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the expressed or written permission of the NBA, the Nuggets, and KWGN is prohibited.
Here's a steal by the Nuggets. Adams takes it in and hits. Paul Westhead making a substitution very early, going with the rookie Marcus Liberty.
Well, Marcus hasn't played a lot on this road trip, but the time he has played, Al, he's been impressive, and it looks like it's earned him a little more time on the floor.
Here's the pressure by the Nuggets. Sixers able to get through. A late whistle by Ed Rush, but the foul is on Blair Rasmussen, so it is the second on Rasmussen.
Yeah, let's take another look at this. Blair just holds his ground, his arms straight up in the air. Hawkins is the one who causes the contact, and I don't know, Blair didn't like the call, and I can see why.
Hawkins in his last game, 28 points against Milwaukee, 13 of 13 from the foul line, so that is snapped right there. Hawkins plays more time than any 76er, 38 minutes, and now we see the first sight of Rick Mahorn, and he'll replace Kenny Payne.
In addition to those 28 points, Al, Hersey Hawkins also had 8 assists, which tied his career high, and 8 steals, which set a career high. So a big night against Milwaukee for Hawkins.
He makes 1 of 2 from the foul line. Quick start for Hawkins, who has 8 of the Sixers' 22 points. Now Mahorn is in there, but he's guarding Liberty, and Barkley stays on Woolridge. 6 minutes to go in the first. Al Albert along with Dan Issel at the Spectrum. Tomorrow night we'll be in Charlotte. Nuggets against the Hornets to close out this road trip. And you'll see it starting at 5:30 right here on Channel 2. Liberty takes it in on Mahorn. The Sixers on the run. Hawkins. Will this foul be on Liberty or on Rasmussen? They call it on Marcus Liberty.
Hawkins really got lucky that time because he got up in the air and he didn't know what he was going to do with the basketball. He just kind of dropped it at McHorn's feet, and Rick came away with the basketball.
Rick Mahorn is averaging 11 points, 8 rebounds per ball game at 6'10", 260 pounds in his 11th season. Coming over with a bad back. Philadelphia holding their breath at the back. Is able to hold up, especially when you consider in Detroit he only had to play around 20 minutes a game. Here he's called on to play around 30 minutes per ball game.
Well, it was surprising that Philadelphia didn't make more moves in the offseason. They lost the playoffs last year because of a lack of bench strength, and they certainly haven't improved it in.
Woolridge blows by Mahorn. Diving forward is Liberty. Great pass by Barkley, and Jaminski can't even hit from underneath. Sixers want offensive interference, goaltending, or rather just the goaltending.
Personal foul, Marcus Liberty.
They call the foul on Liberty.
Well, watch his pass by Barkley behind the back, and Jaminski blows the layup. Gives some credit to Orlando. He comes right back and misses another one. But and right there you see why he wanted the call. He thought the ball was still on the rim, but he'll go to the free throw line. He remains an excellent free throw shooter, even though, as you said earlier, Al, he has struggled all year long from the field.
Yeah, we're seeing it again tonight against Milwaukee the other night. 3 of 13 and misses long on that foul shot. But Jaminski, who averages just 9 a game, has 5 already here in the first quarter. Last year he averaged 14 per ball game. First year with the Sixers he was at 17 per. Lichty likes the defense of Hawkins. He's either blown by him or faked him out, and it's the second foul on Hersey Hawkins. So Jimmy Lynam has to make some moves now. He'll take Jaminski out and put in instant offense type of a guy off the bench, Ron Anderson. As Lichty sets for the foul shots. Todd Lichty on a streak, Dan, not only shooting well from the floor, he's now made 13 straight from the foul line. And there is a familiar face, Jim Farmer, who went through the whole preseason with the Nuggets, one of the last cuts, and he is hooked up now with the 76ers. Farmer goes all the way, blocked by Blair Rasmussen, and taken off by Adams. Lichty fires. Woolridge knocked out of bounds by Anderson, and they say it's a Philly ball. That was a foul on Anderson.
And Jim Farmer, seeing all of the exhibition games that the Nuggets played in, when he got the ball, he immediately took the ball straight to the basket like all of the teams were doing in preseason.
Sixers lead it by 4. Farmer putting the ball up. This is only the second game he has played, and that's his first field goal as a 76er. Adams fakes the 3. Woolridge past Mahorn, goes in on Barkley. Liberty continues to be very active. Blair Rasmussen hits from outside.
Well, if the Nuggets are going to be successful tonight, Al, they're going to have to hit that outside jumper because the interior defense of the 76ers is excellent. They do a great job of helping out one another, and it's going to be difficult to score in the paint.
Plus, they take up so much room. Mahorn is now in the middle. Changes continue to be made. Jerome Lane is back in to replace Marcus Liberty. And Todd Lichty goes out. And the first look tonight at Chris Jackson. Lichty has 7 points. He and Michael Adams each with 7. Hersey Hawkins leads the Sixers with 8. Charles Barkley has but the 2 field goals. 4 minutes, 18 seconds left. The Nuggets could keep this pace. This is one club they may be able to wear down. Green loves that shot, but he missed it. Jerome Lane with the rebound. Last 2 games, Jerome has 19 rebounds, 11 off the offensive boards. Michael Adams, who has patented that drive, carrying the ball for a couple of steps. And the tomahawk by Barkley.
Charles took that defensive trip off, and he was already past half court by the time Michael had scored.
Adams tries it again. Woolridge against Mahorn. Throws it away. Three minutes and 42 seconds left in the first. Barkley, who's had season highs in each of his last 2 games. 42 against Milwaukee on Tuesday, and then Saturday at 37 against Boston. So 37 was the season high, and then he broke it against Milwaukee. Chris Jackson searching for his shot. Nice move, but it doesn't go. Here's Farmer, makes the fake. Adams steals it. Nuggets continue to move the ball quickly. Adams again on the drive. And it's Jerome Lane with the follow, and the Nuggets are 2 back. Remember, the Sixers had scored 21 points in the first 5 minutes. Well, they've added just 7 more in the last 4. 3 minutes on the nose.
And the Nuggets have them playing a style they really don't like to play. They'd rather be in a half-court offense.
Scrapping for it, Rasmussen and Woolridge collide. Well, the Celtics even said the other night the Nuggets were very successful in getting them out of their game, making them rush their shots. Ron Anderson, that was an example right there. Timeout.
Cold filtered, never heat pasteurized.
What happened? The car just kind of...
Ask him.
Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
The right news. Simply combine.
Now the Nuggets facing Charles Barkley and the 76ers. Denver to within 2 points of Philadelphia on the Sixers home court, where they have won 9 and lost but 1. Andre Turner, number 4, has checked in. Anderson loses, but the Nuggets start the other way without the ball. And Mahorn comes up with a little garbage. First field goal for Rick Mahorn. The Nuggets now set up with Jackson, Lichty, Woolridge, Lane, and Rasmussen.
Boy, are the 76ers getting physical. Mahorn pushed Woolridge out of the paint on that jump.
Barkley misses the stuff. Much maneuvering to get there. And Barkley gets it again. Nuggets never shut on that. Rasmussen throwing it to the wrong man. And Lichty in the crowd just could not recover. Run down by Mahorn, and here's Andre Turner. Fires it ahead to Barkley. Walks around Rasmussen. They're playing with the 2 fouls. Barkley with great body control, the finesse, and the raw power all combined.
And you saw right there the quickness of Charles Barkley. Looking at his physique, you would never guess that he had that ability, but he was around Blair in a heartbeat.
One of the unique players ever, Charles Barkley. Combination of speed and quickness, strength and agility, just doesn't fit into that package. He's listed as 6'6". Jerome Lane, who's gone up against him several times, says he's 6'4" at best. Risky pass. Rasmussen, no. And the Nuggets now with Michael Adams on the bench, you can see some struggling in the offensive zone. 6 points for Orlando Woolridge, who's been outscored 10-6 by Barkley, as they go head-to-head for the scoring lead. Mahorn, plenty of room to Barkley, and now things are getting serious inside for the Nuggets defensively. Jackson, quick release.
Chris needs to hit a couple of shots to get that confidence back. He was just 6 for 19 in Boston, but you can't tell him to stop shooting.
Rasmussen again. Nuggets better hustle back. Here's Barkley. Nuggets missing 4 shots. Rasmussen twice inside. But they still fire away. Jerome Lane continues the fine outside touch. 36-30. The Sixers with Charles Barkley coming on strong here in the closing minutes. There's the time remaining in the first. Andre Turner, who has had cups of coffee with several clubs, has gift-wrapped that for Barkley, who's hammered from behind by Jerome Lane. Well, the last few games, the Nuggets going against Larry Bird, who had 43, Charles Smith, 52. Big, strong, active, or quick guy inside can rack up the points against Denver.
And you saw right there, when your defense on the perimeter is not good, it really breaks your whole team down. Jerome Lane, that time, who was on Barkley, had to come over to pick up Turner. That left Charles wide open. And after a slow start in this game, Barkley, if he makes this next free throw, will have 14 in the quarter.
No player in the NBA has gone to the foul line more than Barkley. 213 attempts. He was 16 of 20 against Milwaukee in his last game. Orlando Woolridge has taken 170 attempts, which seems as if he's been vacationing on the foul line. That's 3rd best in the league behind Barkley and Karl Malone. Woolridge fights to the basket again. So Orlando Woolridge getting beaten up inside. And there's the foul on Lichty. Referee Joe Forte claiming that Lichty put the foot out. Paul Westhead claiming that Turner ran over Lichty's leg. Jason Williams, first-round draft pick out of St. John's. He was a first-round pick of the Phoenix Suns. Things did not go well in Phoenix, and the Suns are very happy to market him around and got a first-round in return from Philadelphia.
And did you see Manute Bol laughing at Charles as he sat down? He knows that Barkley, the tired young man right now.
Andre Turner could be a tired young man just from traveling. In 4 years, the young man out of Memphis State, the third-round draft pick of the Lakers, was cut, signed as a free agent with Boston. Orlando Woolridge goes out for Anthony Cook. Turner then went to the CBA, signed with Houston, played 12 games, then suffered a punctured eardrum, was out for the remainder of the season. In the expansion draft, he was selected by Miami, was cut, went to Milwaukee, played 4 games, went to the CBA, even played in the WBL in Calgary. Last year, he played for the Clippers for 6 games, and Charlotte for 8, and ended up in the CBA. And here he is in Philadelphia. Last second shot, Jackson, but he is fouled with a half a second to go. Turner gets the foul, and Jackson goes to the line.
And Chris, with a nice move here, the ball fake gets Turner up in the air, and you saw the contact as Chris was going up and Turner was coming down.
Jackson played 19 minutes against Boston, 13 points, but in the 19 minutes took 19 shots, and already every time he's touched the ball, he's put it up tonight. He scores 2 from the foul line. Steal by Jackson. It won't count. Not in time, says the referee, Eddie Rush. Half a second. You have to be pretty quick to score in a half a second. Well, that ends the first quarter of play. 74 points on the board in 12 minutes. In Philadelphia, the Nuggets against the defending Atlantic Division champions, the Philadelphia 76ers, who at this point, with a record of 12-6, trail the Boston Celtics by 2.5 games. Earlier, Charles Barkley talked about how he sees the race sizing up this year in the division.
Well, I think to be good, you have to be very intelligent, and that's one thing I pride myself on. I think it's going to be a 3-team race, same way it was last year. The Knicks are very good, the Celtics are very good, and I think we're very good. And I think any of those 3 teams can win it. It just depends on who plays the best.
Well, right now it's the Celtics at 14-3, Philadelphia 12-6, 2.5 games behind the Knicks, 7-9 their record. Sixers over the 50% mark in the first quarter. We start period number 2. Joe Wolf is in for Blair Rasmussen. Mahorn in the backcourt with Anderson and Williams. Farmer up front along with Turner. And this foul goes against the Nuggets. Against Joe Wolf.
It goes against Joe Wolf again. Farmer trying to get to the basket against the Nugget defenders. Joe Wolf with his most impressive performance the other night in Boston. 6 points, 6 rebounds in just 17 minutes. And I think that's one of the reasons, Al, that the Nuggets were able to stay in the game.
Jim Farmer will get another shot. So 4 points for Farmer in his first extended trip on the floor since becoming a 76er. Walter Davis on for the first time. Walter not at the shoot-around, has been under the weather. Michael Adams gets it back and hits. So Michael hits the more difficult shot. 11 points for Michael Adams, who's averaging 22 points per ball game.
And the Nuggets might be hearing some of the footsteps of these physical 76ers. They missed more easy shots inside than any game this year.
Adams for 3. Way off the mark. So Michael Adams with the quick steal. Pickpockets Andre Turner. Nuggets trying to give Turner the business. Barkley on the bench, along with Hersey Hawkins. Barkley with 14 in the first quarter. Hawkins had 8. It's Wolf against Mahorn.
And I think that's the part of Mahorn's game that really surprised the 76ers. They knew they were getting a physical rebounder, good defensive player, but he's given them a lot of offense since he got here as well.
Wolf kicks it off to Lichty, who's gone against Farmer during the whole preseason. Walter Davis way off. Joe Wolf cannot hold on, and now the break for the 76ers. Anderson slides in. And Nuggets right now just standing around. 10-point lead for the Sixers.
Mahorn just reaching over the back of Michael Adams. Michael had beaten his defender. Mahorn sticks his hand in from behind, knocks the pass away. 76ers will have it in as Hersey Hawkins comes back, and Jim Farmer. Pretty impressive appearance for that young man here tonight.
Walter Davis fakes on Anderson, and he rattles the rim and scores his first hoop of the night. Member fans will be selecting tonight's Miller Lite All-Star of the game, and Miller will make a $100 donation to the Net Charity Foundation in his name. Anderson gets his first field goal. Ron Anderson. The Sixers again by 10. 9.5 to go in the first half. Adams and Turner. This time Adams has to have Turner back on his heels. Thinking about the three is Michael Adams. Wolf can't get position inside, and Adams squirts in. Gets it back. He's all over the place. Davis fires. Hersey Hawkins on the move. Sets up Turner, who ducks inside of Lichty. Adams on the run for the Nuggets. Perpetual motion. Davis tries again. Got it.
Walter Davis.
8-point lead for the 76ers. They're giving Charles Barkley a rest on the bench. 8 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the second quarter. Hawkins comes out, and he'll get another one. Mahorn's the man who gets back on Adams. Lichty for three.
Todd was too wide open on that one.
Now it's Turner and Hawkins.
Hersey Hawkins.
Double figures for Hersey Hawkins. 8 minutes and 15 to go in the second quarter. Adams with Lichty, Wolf, Cook, and Davis up front. Mahorn gets a piece of that. Wolf claiming he was fouled. Anderson, dip trap from Andre Turner. And the lead is 12 for the 76ers. Paul Westhead upset, calls a timeout. The Nuggets have looked better on this road trip. Timeout in Philadelphia early in the second. Man, Xavier McDaniel, along with Tom Chambers and Kevin Johnson. What a punch now added to the Phoenix Suns. They'll be at McNichols Arena on Saturday. Jerome Lane is checked in along with Blair Rasmussen, who you'll see up close at halftime. The whistle, and this is the first time that Woolridge has drawn the foul.
Take another look at it again. The quickness, and Orlando has to put the ball way out in his right hand, and Jason Williams comes away with the call. And Manute Bol waiting to check in. He's already become a very popular player here in Philadelphia, even though he's averaging less than 2 points a game and shooting 38% from the field, but you can't take it inside against him.
In his 6 seasons in the NBA, he has totaled more block shots than points. And he cost a first-round draft pick, which went west to Golden State, and now Manute is in, giving Mahorn a rest. There's a question of whether Manute would even play against the Nuggets style, because he may just camp over under the defensive basket and stay there. Not by choice, but everybody just running by him. 52-41. Sixers by 11. 7:20 remaining in the second.
If he doesn't do that, he might spend a lot of time in the center jump circle as the teams go back and forth.
Turner gets it off and in. Andre Turner. And the Sixers lead is now 13. Adams again drives by but misses. The Nuggets have missed about a half a dozen layups tonight. Woolridge sitting on ball. The foul. The fans thought it was the first block of the game for Manute, and so did he.
Take another look at it. Orlando across the middle, this time with the left hand, and it was clean up top, but it did look like there was some contact on Orlando's shoulder, but you couldn't convince the fans here in the spectrum of that.
Orlando Woolridge, there's his point total tonight. He has been very consistent with 29 points against Boston. That's his average. And a special night in Boston just the other night, 2 nights ago. Orlando Woolridge with that jump shot hit the 10,000 point plateau, and he heard it from the fans, acknowledged it, and now rests at 10,020 points, 10,021 and ticking. And the way he looks with the Denver Nuggets in the Nugget uniform, he's going to add a whole bunch of points onto that total before it's all over. 6:50 left in the first half. The Nuggets trying to crack this dozen-point lead of Philadelphia. Sixers have won 8 straight at home. Hersey Hawkins runs out of room, and now it is Adams revving it up for the Nuggets. The trailer, Davis. 2-on-1 the other way. Turner, who is trying to stay on this team, takes it all the way in.
And Michael fouled him that time, hoping to take away the easy layup. The official let it go.
Jerome Lane, the presence of Bol just cost the Nuggets that basket. This does not look good for Denver.
Well, they're good. I'm sorry, Al. They're going to have to find their shooting touch. They're down to just 35%. There's another foul.
But there it is. Michael Adams, the guy who'll take it right in on Manute Bol, of all people. But the Nuggets are missing layups. They're not hitting their outside shots, and also causing too many turnovers. That does not add up well.
Now, the idea of the defense of the Nuggets is to cause, hopefully, about 10 turnovers more a game than their opponent.
Michael Adams, who has been sensational, and he just has the flair for the spectacular. Remember last home game against the Los Angeles Clippers? Adams blocks Danny Manning, but he wasn't finished. He does it at the defensive end of the floor, and then on the offensive end, looking for the left, he goes for 3. Swish. And here in Philadelphia, it's Michael Adams who goes head-to-head with 7'7" Manute Bol. 13 points for Adams. And 12 points for Hersey Hawkins. 16-point lead for the Sixers. Woolridge compliments of Barkley, meets a couple of the Philadelphia fans. And Charles Barkley looks around like, what did I do? They call the foul on Turner.
Well, again, reputation so important in this league. I think the one thing the 76ers have to be happy about is they've been able to build this lead with Charles Barkley spending most of the time on the bench. And Andre Turner sits down. Ricky Green checks in. Turner also doing a good job.
The Sixer bench, big reason that they are up by 16. Rasmussen lets it fly over Manute. So Blair Rasmussen hits from the outside, his second field goal. Now the Sixers have opened up their biggest lead of 16, now cut to 14, and they come back on with essentially their starting lineup. Barkley for 3. He's kind of toned down on his 3-point shots. He hits his 8th of the year in 35 attempts. The Nuggets really digging themselves a big hole in the first half.
No, he hit it.
Todd Lichty says it was Hawkins who hit it out. Nuggets not getting a break here in the first half.
And the fact that Hawkins tried to pick that ball up when it bounced out of bounds might substantiate Todd's claim.
Charles Barkley just throwing it up, and it's finding the hoop. Foul on Manute, who gestures towards the referee.
And it's a good thing that he was doing that against Forte and not a veteran official. Orlando loses control of the ball because of the slap on the arm.
Let's get Manute up here to look at the replay.
And did you see Manute just throw his hand at the official? A veteran official, and Manute would have had a technical as well.
And that's just a note on the state of the officials working tonight's game, but it has so far not bothered the 76ers. It has bothered Manute. Woolridge deciding that he has to take it in on Minute. Didn't try to adjust his shot, just went full force and drew the foul. A couple of changes, so Minute goes out with the 2 fouls. Jaminski comes in for him. And Chris Jackson in the lineup for the Nuggets to give Michael Adams a rest. Minute not too happy with the officials. $12 points for Orlando Woolridge, who had 29 against Boston, 31 against Cleveland. As the 8th time he's hit the 30 mark this year. We're down to 4 minutes, 39 seconds. The crowd wants Barkley to go to it. For 3. Marcus Liberty now on the floor. Orlando Woolridge without Bol. Lines it out inside and draws the foul.
Personal foul, Ricky Green. His first.
Orlando that time just inviting Barkley to shoot another 3-pointer, and when Charles takes the shot, Orlando's off to the other end of the floor, gets behind the defense, the shot and the foul.
And now in the confrontation between Woolridge and Barkley really heating up. Barkley with 19 points and Woolridge with 15. Woolridge coming in averaging 29.4 a game. Barkley at 29.1. They are numbers 1 and 2 in the league in scoring. Hawkins stays with it, looking for a seam.
Personal foul,
Chris Jackson called for the foul.
Team second.
Four minutes, 10 seconds to go in the first half. Denver ball. And the officials now wondering, was it tipped by Woolridge? Woolridge says he never touched it.
Now the officials are going to have a conference. The official that was behind the play said Orlando didn't touch the ball, and now the officials get together and decide it will be the Nuggets basketball.
Jimmy Lynam, the coach of the 76ers, who played his basketball at St. Joe's. His teammates, Paul Westhead and Jim Boyle, Nuggets head coach and assistant coach. Matter of fact, Westhead, when he started his coaching job at Loyola Marymount, replaced Lynam. 4-on-1 for the Sixers. Anderson. Jimmy Lynam, who coached the Clippers a couple of years, was fired and went over to Loyola Marymount for a couple of months, never even coached them. And he came here to the Clippers. 21 for Barkley.
Chris Jackson trying to catch up to Barkley defensively, but Ricky Green are running a little pit all the way down the floor, and Jackson could never get there.
That shot Jackson hits. Paul Westhead returning home to Philadelphia, and so far has had nothing to show the Philadelphia fans. Sixers in their shoot on the TV show 30-something. Speaking of numbers.
And it's even worse than that in this quarter. In this quarter, 72% for the 76ers, 36 for the Nuggets.
Nice finger roll by Marcus Liberty. Thrown away by the 76ers. Nuggets need a few more of those. 3 minutes to go in the first half. Jerome Lane is now back in, replacing Marcus Liberty. So indication here tonight that Paul Westhead wants to start seeing a little more of the second-round draft pick out of Illinois. Marcus Liberty coming back from the hamstring injury and the injured list.
Since nobody touched that ball while it was inbounds, the Nuggets get it out under their own basket.
Anderson comes out, and Kenny Payne, who started the game, is in. Lichty in the crowd. From behind, Woolridge with a poke. Jackson with a poke, and Lane's got it. Now the Nuggets hustle out 4-on-2. Jackson wide open, pulls the trigger. Swish.
That's exactly what Chris needs, about 3 or 4 of those in a row, and get his confidence back.
Nuggets like to get it under 10 at halftime. It's now 14-point lead. 76ers playing around at 3-point range. Kenny Payne fall away, and he hits it. First field goal for the second-year man out of Louisville. 71-55 in favor of Philadelphia. Most points the 76ers ever scored in the first half is 86. Lichty tightrope walking at the end line. Nice behind the back as he's smothered by Payne. Shot clock shows 16 seconds. Plenty of time for the Nuggets to work.
2 minutes remaining in the first half. 2 minutes.
And it goes to Woolridge, who leaves Barkley in the dust. 17 for Orlando Woolridge.
Charles going for the inside fake. Nice spin move by Orlando, and he was wide open, and a timeout taken by the 76ers as Ricky Green had no place to throw the ball, and now he says he wants a 20-second timeout. So
that's what he'll get. So the veteran Ricky Green aware enough to call the timeout. Green goes to the bench with the Sixers. Now here's the move by Woolridge. Barkley giving him the baseline.
And once he was beaten, not much of an effort to catch back up, was there?
He's been around too long. He knows, hey, you got me. Orlando Woolridge, the leading scorer in the NBA, and Orlando Woolridge not on the All-Star ballot. One of the oddities this season. When the ballot is put together at the beginning of the year, they take a look at the rosters, and Woolridge at that point. Hersey Hawkins with Lane going down. But Orlando at that point, guy coming off the bench for the Lakers, averaging around 12, 13 points a game, seeing 20 minutes, so you can understand the reasoning.
And when the powers that be, realizing the Nuggets only had to give up 2 second-round draft picks to get him, maybe they didn't think he was had the value to be put on the All-Star ballot.
Sixers by 16. Adams kicks it off to Rasmussen. Got it. Blair Rasmussen, whose shooting has certainly come around the last 6 games at 53%. And those are outside shots. The steal, Davis.
Walter Davis.
Third field goal for Walter Davis, all here in the second, and the Nuggets are showing signs of life in the last few minutes. It's off of Barkley, and the Nuggets get it back.
I think they better get somebody else besides Sir Charles taking the ball out of bounds down here. I think the Nuggets have caused more turnovers than any game we've seen off of this full court pressure. They just can't hit any shots.
Green inside, and Barkley returns that favor. 23 points for Charles Barkley. 75-61. Davis for 2. Jerome Lane muscling for the ball, and a whistle, and the foul is called on Kenny Payne. And it will send Jerome Lane to the line. First foul on Payne. Westhead checks the score, sees his team down by 14. Westhead, of course, coached here in the city at LaSalle. Played ball at St. Joe's. Jerome Lane, who hit his foul shot in Boston to end a 3-point play. Jerome, since coming off the injured list, 6 games, he's been averaging 11 rebounds per ball game to go along with 13 points. And it's 7 tonight for Lane. Nuggets trailed by as many as 18. Hawkins trying to beat the pressure. Now, Blair Rasmussen hanging in there with those 2 fouls, and comes down to 41 seconds, and he gets his third. He didn't want to get that one here.
Yeah. And now I think Paul better get him out of there with 41 seconds left in the half to make sure he doesn't pick up the 4th. But so far, no movement on the Nuggets bench.
Hawkins last year, 9th best foul shooter in the NBA. At 89%, he's at 86 this year. Nation's leading scorer at Bradley, when he averaged 36 points a game. At a college high of 63. And left school is the 4th all-time leading college scorer. 33 seconds left. Hawkins with 15 in the first half. Adams. Michael's been making shots like that. He heard the whistle, let it fly.
Well, the Nuggets are already in the penalty situation, but Michael's going to make sure he gets 2 free throws. He hears the whistle, and up it goes. A little short and to the left.
Ricky Green's second personal
Adams
team over
5 of 5 from the foul line. He hit all 6 of his foul shots against the Boston Celtics. 87% of the foul line coming into this game. 14 points for Adams, and the Sixers are looking for the last shot. And now the Nuggets with some traffic. They make the Sixers hustle it over the line, but Philadelphia will take their time, work the clock down. They have 6 seconds to shoot. Now Green will go at it. It's against Ricky Green. Green has his 3rd personal foul, and it leaves the Nuggets just under 4 seconds to go the length of the court.
Well, there's no way that Ricky Green's going to beat Michael one-on-one. Michael with just too much quickness, and he winds up taking an awful shot, but caused the turnover with the offensive foul. Now Joe Wolf does replace Blair Rasmussen, but his duties will be on the offensive end.
Rookie Brian Oliver out of Georgia Tech. There's the steal. Barkley beats the clock. And that about sums up the first half for the Nuggets. Woolridge lets it go. And the Sixers open up the 15-point lead at halftime. Here at the Spectrum, it's Philadelphia 78 and the Nuggets 63. In Philadelphia, where the Nuggets have won just twice in 17 trips into the franchise NBA history. And they are trailing by 15 at halftime. And Dan Issel, the Nuggets, who have looked exceptional in defeat in the first 2 games of this trip in Cleveland and Boston, look more like a 3-14 team in the first half tonight.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, primarily because of their inability to convert the easy shots. Michael showing right there what a lot of his teammates did as well. They just couldn't hit it, but Michael does make amends coming back and making a more difficult shot off the glass. Pass this time to Orlando, one of the few times he was able to beat the Philadelphia defense inside off the glass around Charles Barkley. Barkley this time is going to take a long 3-pointer and miss, and Orlando is headed for the other end. A nice pass by Chris. Woolridge behind the defense, and that wound up being a 3-point shot. Full-length court pass by Mahorn to a wide-open Charles Barkley, and he's not going to miss that very often. It was all Charles Barkley in the first half. Hersey Hawkins this time bringing the ball down behind the back, inside, and Sir Charles with a dunk shot.
25 points for Barkley to lead the way in the first half. The Nuggets a dismal 38%, including about a half a dozen layups that they've missed. And the Sixers with those driving stuff by Barkley, field goal percentage all the way up to 63%. Foul shooting just about even, which is a rarity for the Nuggets of late. And the other statistics on the boards just about even.
Well, the turnovers going in the way of the Nuggets, and the 76ers have 5 more assists.
We'll be back for the start of the second half from the Spectrum in Philadelphia. So stay with us right here on Nuggets basketball on Channel 2.
No. I love coming.
Leading scorers in the first half, Orlando Woolridge once again leading the way in 19 minutes, 17 points. Michael Adams comes next, but that's on 4 of 12 shooting from the field and only 4 assists for Adams in the first half. Todd Lichty and Jerome Lane with 7. Jerome has 9 rebounds, 5 off the offensive boards, and Blair Rasmussen 3 of 10 from the floor.
Barkley leading the way. He had 25 at halftime last time out against the Bucks. Hawkins the only other 76er in double figures with 16.
Lichty on the drive, and he gift wraps it to Woolridge. He can't connect inside, feeling the heat. And now it's a 3-on-2 for Philadelphia. Barkley ended up with a season-high 42 against the Bucks. His last 2 points came with the time run out. No seconds on the clock, and Philadelphia down by 1. He hit the 2 foul shots for the victory.
They never started the 24-second clock There's still 24 seconds left on the clock, and the officials noticed it just as Charles Barkley was laying in a shot underneath. So there's a break for the Nuggets because Charles had a wide open shot, and as he started up, the whistle from the officials, and they have nobody to blame but their own stat crew. And Jimmy Lynam not too happy right now, but the 24-second clock never moved.
That, I guess, would be the ultimate for Paul Westhead, to have his team score a basket without using a second on the clock. He has now said he wants the Nuggets to shoot every 5 or 6 seconds. Early in the season it was 3 or 4. Maybe it'll get down to none or 1.
Take another look at it. Hersey Hawkins dumps it open into a wide open Charles Barkley, and right there the whistle blew. No basket. So they're going to start it all over. It'll still be the 76ers ball. But this goes back to a play at the end of the first quarter when Ed Rush, the official, arbitrarily said that the quarter was over. There wasn't, remember, there was a half of second left. And
Chris Jackson made the steal.
Right. And it's, I mean, they have nobody to blame but the Philadelphia timekeeper. I don't know how the official can do that if the timekeeper doesn't throw the switch.
And they're working the clock down to 11 seconds. Bad bargain for the Sixers. Barkley hit 11 of 14 from the floor in the first half. It is knocked away. That's the 6th turnover, by the way, for Barkley in the game. Lane dishes it off to Lichty. Swish. 9 points for Lichty. 3 solid performances for Lichty after missing Saturday's game at home against the Clippers with a sprained right ankle. Nuggets trailed by as many as 18, trimming it down to 13 now at the start of the third quarter. The double team leaves Jaminski open. The ice cold shooting center of the 76ers. Adams for 3. That's just his 3rd three-point attempt of the night. The foul is called on Barkley, his first. Michael says he's kind of rushing the three-pointer a little bit. 1 for 9 against Boston. He's certainly getting the opportunities to let him go.
And Barkley right here with the foul. Jerome, inside position, was about to come away with his 6th offensive rebound of the game.
Woolridge double team, so he kicks it out. Adams with the fake. Now the floater. Swish. 16 now for Michael Adams, and the Nuggets trying to make a move early in the second half. Jaminski. And the crowd now starting to get on G-Man. Adams scurries inside. Woolridge twisting and turning and missing. Lichty breaks it up. Adams with 2 Sixers on him. Too hot to handle. Lane fires. Nuggets having opportunities. They call Adams, though, on the swipe.
Personal fouls on Michael Adams.
Michael Adams had 3 steals in the first half, and Jaminski heads to the bench. Oh, no, he'll just inbound.
He's just going to take the ball out of bounds. But, you know, it's amazing. Whenever you're struggling like Jaminski is, it seems like the open shots are just there for the taking. When you're on fire, then you can't get open to take one.
Barkley upstairs for the foul. Adams for 3. And Barkley got all the way back the other way. Michael Adams touched it last. Sixers lead it by 13. Michael Adams, who has not had additional problems with the hamstrings. Good news for the Nuggets.
Charles Barkley started to take that ball out of bounds, and his teammates said, wait a second, Charles, we remember when you tried that in the first half. Let's let Payne do it.
Jaminski now 2 for 8 from the floor. He continues to hear the crowd voicing their opinion. Slipping move. It counts, and he is fouled. Orlando Woolridge takes it to the hole.
His team second. Rick Mahorn returns for the 76ers.
Nice cross-court pass by Michael, and Orlando gets inside, and I don't think there's any way that Kenny Payne can stop Orlando when he gets the ball that close to the basket. Orlando will go to the line to try to complete the three-point play.
And Orlando Woolridge playing 41 minutes in Boston and in Cleveland, plus the physical focus now that he is getting from the defense. He has really been taking a pounding.
But you know what, Paul, as Hersey Hawkins hits a three-pointer, Paul's starting to realize he's going to give these people some rest. And the starters got yesterday off. There was no practice here after we got to Philadelphia.
Hawkins last year 6th in the league in three-pointers. Twisting and turning is Woolridge, and he'll get to the foul line one more time. And this one could be on Barkley. No, they call it on Hawkins, and it is number 3 on Hawkins, who just hit his 18th three-pointer in 46 attempts. Now Woolridge is making it to the foul line in this game more times than Barkley, who leads the league in that category. Woolridge 7 of 9 from the foul line. Barkley 2 of 2.
But you know, Al, you talked about how physical teams are starting to get with Orlando, but with that quickness, he's able to stay away from a lot of that physical contact down low.
22 points for Woolridge. Barkley has 27. Once again, the Nuggets make the 76ers throw it away.
And the turnovers really now starting to get out of line. That's the 16th for the 76ers, only 6 for Denver.
Nuggets start making some shots. They could get back in this one in a hurry. Lane in double figures now in rebounds, his 10th and his 6th off the offensive board. Rasmussen pulls the trigger. Swish.
And Michael helped create that shot because for a split second, Mahorn had to come off of Blair defensively to help out on Michael, and Rasmussen knocks it down.
Near steal, but now it's a 2-on-1. Rasmussen does the job. Here the Nuggets storming the other way. Led by Todd Lichty. Adams open for 3. Do the Nuggets need it? But they don't get it. Adams again. The floater. No. 2 opportunities for Denver. Now Barkley. Second foul on Todd Lichty. Nuggets with an opportunity to cut it to 7, maybe 6 if Adam hits the three-pointer. But it's a turnaround. Green now on the line could give the Sixers an 11-point bulge.
I think the Nuggets, their floor game, Al, is as good as it was the first 2 stops of this road trip in Cleveland and Boston, but they're just not shooting the basketball. If they could get some of these to fall and get up to that season average of about 47%, they'd be right in this one as well.
Nuggets have hit 28 of 76 shots, 37%. Ricky Green, whose career high in 13 seasons in the NBA, came against the Nuggets. Orlando Woolridge now racking up the points. He has 24, and we still have 7:45 left in the third. Barkley calling the ball against Jerome Lane. Mahorn ripped down by Woolridge. Walter Davis checking back in, looking to get in the flow. Woolridge 1-on-1. He's double teamed and fouled, and if it's on Green, it's his 4th. It is on Ricky Green, who back in 1984, the member of the Utah Jazz, you recall that game, a game played in Las Vegas, scored 45 points against the Nuggets, and that ranks as his all-time best. Sixers are concerned. Their 18-point lead has been whittled down to 8. The Nuggets on the move early in the third.
What would you say?
Call 893-6700. The battle of the top guns in the NBA, and Woolridge now making up ground. Nuggets a chance there to move to within 6. Andre Turner inserted in the lineup for Ricky Green, who goes to the bench with the 4 fouls. Turner and Hawkins with Barkley, Mahorn, and Anderson up front. That's the Sixers 5. And a steal by Davis. Davis and Adams and Woolridge and Lane and Rasmussen for the Nuggets. Adams blows by. This will go against the 76ers. And it's against Barkley.
Charles Barkley, his
second foul on Sir Charles. Last year, 2nd in the voting for MVP in the NBA behind Magic Johnson.
Michael again with the good penetration, gets inside, but watch Barkley right there, the shove in the back of Jerome, We'll take another look at it. Watch Barkley right at the bottom of your screen. Watch. He'll shove Jerome right in the back. Jerome goes flying, and he'll go to the line for 2, the 5th team foul on the Sixers.
And take that, says Jerome Lane. So the Nuggets now going up against Barkley and Mahorn, who affectionately here in Philadelphia are called Thump and Bump. Which one's Thump and which one's Bump, I'm not so sure. I think they're interchangeable for those two players. Jerome Lane makes 1 of 2. And the Sixers holding on to a 7-point lead. Hawkins for 3. Barkley rips it away, and he's fouled, and it's number 4 on Rasmussen. Rasmussen underneath the 7-footer and finding the incredible physical specimen in Charles Barkley at 6'5", getting up over him and then out muscling.
And it looked like Charles might have gotten away with a little shove on that one, but I know it's easier said than done, but you get Hawkins to take a difficult shot like that, you can't turn around and give the 76ers a second opportunity with an offensive rebound.
First team All-Pro the last 3 years. Charles Barkley in his 7th season out of Auburn. 28 points tonight for Barkley, and we still have 6:10 to go in the third. There's the steal by Hawkins. Sets up Barkley. Woolridge from 20. Swish. Woolridge gets the 2 to offset that last dunk by Barkley. And it's Barkley with 30. Woolridge with 26. I thought he was going to shoot from there. Anderson walks by. Ron Anderson averaging 13 a game. Disappointment last year after a great year 2 seasons ago. Rasmussen fires. Swish. Double figures for Blair Rasmussen. 10 points. He's averaging 13 a game to go along with his near 11 rebounds. And 3 block shots, 6th in the league in rebounding and in shot blocking. Nice job by Lane. He put the body to Barkley, and the other Nuggets took it down. Barkley now is really laboring to get down the floor. Davis, but not laboring enough to get that. And here he goes, broken up by Adams. Another steal from Michael Adams. 3-on-2. Adams into the hands of Davis, and he's on target.
Great defensive play by Michael down at the other end. The 76ers with a 3-on-1, and Barkley was just too far out on the floor to try and make that cross-court pass. Michael comes away with the steal and the assist, and the Nuggets are within 6.
Adams' 5th steal of the game and his 10th assist. He has 6 assists already in this quarter. Mahorn. Rasmussen gets a piece of it. Barkley moving everyone out of the way. And finally, he's hammered by Woolridge. Charles Barkley upping his offensive rebound total.
And again, it's very difficult to keep Barkley out of there, but look who comes away with the first offensive rebound. Jerome just didn't block out Ron Anderson. Then after Barkley gets in position, he's all by himself clearing people out.
That gives Charles Barkley 16 rebounds in the game. He had 7 in the first half. He's had 9 in this third period. Had about 5 of them right there. Charles Barkley total ups to 31. Last year against the Nuggets in 2 games, he had 38 and 32. That's the most points Barkley scored against any team in the league last year as far as average is concerned. And he has 32 already here. The Sixers lead is 8. It was once 18. And another steal by Philadelphia. Andre Turner. And there is Barkley's a one-man show underneath the Philadelphia basket. But as Dan had mentioned, nobody is blocking him out. Woolridge, tough shot. Nuggets just getting 1. Here's Barkley again. And and it's the rookie Liberty to put a hand in his face.
I think the old-fashioned work ethic of blocking people off the boards has really gone by the way as we see Barkley again getting inside. The foul by Marcus Liberty. These kids today, Al, are so quick and have such great leaping ability. They depend on that to get the rebounds, and blocking out, put your body against your opponent. It's kind of a lost art anymore.
Although against Barkley, that may be an impossible task, as he just combines the quickness and the strength and the jumping ability. At 6'5" and 250 pounds. How did the 76ers get Charles Barkley? Well, they traded for him when they sent World B3 to San Diego for a first-round pick, and that's what became Charles Barkley. Michael Adams goes coast to coast. His total is up to 18 points, 10 assists, along with his 5 steals. Michael could be in line for an unusual-looking triple-double. 3.5 minutes left in the third. The Nuggets just 7 back. Nuggets finally get a board, but they had to push Barkley away to get it. Barkley is just tearing the Nuggets apart underneath.
He's also exhausted, but it hasn't stopped his effort. He's working very hard, but he's really tired. Orlando will take a seat as Barkley goes to the free throw line. Mahorn misses. Watch Orlando. A well-timed little shove in the back, but Woolridge gets caught, and Barkley gets 2 free throws.
Last year, Philadelphia won the Atlantic Division with 53 victories. They beat Cleveland in the first round in 5 games, and then lost 4 games to 1 to Chicago in the second series. And the big reason was because the Sixers just didn't have a bench, and Barkley was exhausted by that time. Tonight may be the microcosm of the season.
I think you're right. He's exhausted right now, and you can tell by the fact that he's missed his last 3 free throw attempts.
Adams flying and hitting. That's 20 for Michael Adams. If the Nuggets now could close this gap, going in fresh in the fourth quarter with an exhausted Charles Barkley.
The field goal percentage is up to 40%, Al. They could get it up in the 45-47 range. They could win this game.
Hawkins in the crowd, and Mahorn able to pick it up, and he'll get to the foul line.
Personal foul, Jerome Lane, his second.
Jerome Lane's second personal foul, and a timeout is called with 2:57 left in the third, and the Nuggets moving up. And John Stockton, and of course David Robinson and the San Antonio Spurs. Rick Mahorn will have one more from the foul line.
In this quarter, Al, 76ers shooting 24% from the field, and that is again a reflection of the fatigue factor.
We're down to 2 minutes and 50 seconds in the third, and the tide has swung towards the Nuggets, getting it up at least to 45. Denver averages just shy of 47% on the season, and if Walter Davis catches fire, Nuggets could be in great shape going into the fourth quarter. 94-89, that's the arithmetic. Charles Barkley now resting on the bench with his 33 points. Turner and Hawkins with Mahorn, Anderson, and the rookie out of St. John's, Jason Williams. Turner, top drive. And he's provided a nice spark for the Sixers. 10 points for Turner. Adams takes it right back. Michael Adams, who personally gets insulted when a guy like Turner does that. 22 points now for Michael, who has hit his average of 22 a game. With 2 minutes left in the third.
We talked in the Boston game about Michael's heart, and that's exactly what happens. You do get offended when somebody does that to you, and Michael goes right down and does the same thing to Turner.
Substitutions for the Nuggets. Marcus Liberty is out. Todd Lichty goes in along with Chris Jackson, and Michael Adams takes a seat. His line, 22 points, 10 assists, 5 steals. Hersey Hawkins from the outside, 20 points for Hawkins. Al Albert along with the horse, Dan Issel, at the Spectrum tomorrow night. Will be at the Charlotte Coliseum, 23,000 strong to watch the Nuggets and the Hornets. And you can join us right here on Channel 2 starting at 5:30.
And it'll be our first look at what could be the most improved team in the NBA right now, and that's going to be turnover number 9 for the Nuggets. Todd throwing the ball out left-handed and threw it all the way over Walter's head, a backcourt violation.
Orlando Woolridge returns.
Paul Westhead seeing his club playing very well on this road trip, but you just take a look ahead, Dan. The Nuggets started this trip with a record of 3-12, with 12 of the next 16 games on the road. Timeout taken by the Philadelphia 76ers with 1:18 to go in the third quarter. The Sixers led by as many as 18. There is Paul Westhead, along with his assistant coach Jim Boyle and Mike Evans. Boyle and Westhead with, of course, roots here in Philadelphia. Boyle, who was the head coach at St. Joe's for 9 years and goes way back with Philadelphia 76er head coach Jim Lynam. They're boyhood friends. They played together in high school. All three of them, Boyle, Westhead, and Lynam, played at St. Joe's. Matter of fact, Boyle was Lynam's assistant coach at St. Joe's for 3 years, then took over when Jimmy Lynam left to go to the pros for the next 9 years. And let's go a little further. This is how close they are. Jim Boyle's son is married to Jim Lynam's daughter, and they have a grandson. They're both the grandparents of the same baby boy.
Jim Boyle was happy for the day off yesterday, being back home in Philadelphia. His family has remained here, and Jim's been batching it out in Denver since the season started.
Paul Westhead talks to the Nuggets with 1:18 to go in the third period. You know, there's too much competition out there to be sitting on the sidelines. With cellular phone service by Cellular One, you're always in the game. First half, it looked like the Nuggets wouldn't be in this game, but they are right now, knocking on the door. 7 points behind the Sixers. They have trimmed away 11 points from a once 18-point deficit. And some instructions from Westhead to Jackson. Practice yesterday and the shoot-around this morning. Paul Westhead concentrating on the rookie, Chris Jackson, trying to get him started, give him a little more confidence. And he's in the lineup right now with Todd Lichty, Walter Davis, Blair Rasmussen, and Orlando Woolridge.
Well, they're going to score 100+ tonight. They only got 2 more to go in a whole quarter.
Hawkins steps in. 3-second violation on Jason Williams.
3-second violation on the 76ers. 3 seconds.
And it leaves the Nuggets with the ball and a minute to go.
Jason Williams, another player that the 76ers had to give up a first round to get. Remember, he was drafted by Phoenix, and so the 76ers without 2 of their next 3 first rounders.
Chris Jackson takes it inside. They gave up the first round of Mahorn for Bol, and the year before they gave up the first round for Mahorn. A couple of first rounds. Ron Anderson wide open. But check that Mahorn trade. They gave away a first round and 2 second rounds. There's a steal by Mahorn. He's gone. The lead is now 9.
And Andre Turner really pressuring Chris Jackson, trying to keep him from even receiving the ball. And a beautiful block by Jason Williams.
Down court to Anderson in the open court. And a foul.
Personal foul, Chris Jackson, his second.
That foul will go against Jackson. And we'll take another look at it from the block down at the other end. A quick spin move, but Jason Williams stays right with Orlando. Down to at the other end, Ron Anderson was fouled by Chris Jackson. Ron Anderson, a 91% free throw shooter, good for 9th in the league right now.
In his 7th season, he's 32 years old. Ron Anderson did not play high school ball. He was a 21-year-old grocery clerk playing sandlot basketball when he was convinced by a junior college player at Santa Barbara to go to school and play for them. And that's where his career started. He was 25 years old when he was a second-round draft pick for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Woolridge 3 seconds left. Swish. Walter Davis beats the clock. And that will end the third quarter.
At the end of 3 quarters, the Sixers.
The Nuggets were 15 points down coming into the third. They're 9 points away going out. Stay tuned. The fourth quarter is next.
Come on, guys.
Why is the polar bear?
3 quarters down. 1 to go. The Spectrum in Philadelphia. Al Albert along with Dan Issel in game number 3 of this 4-game road trip, which continues on to Charlotte tomorrow night. And the score by quarters. The Nuggets making up some ground in the third. Philadelphia struggling with their shooting. Nuggets having a chance to move even closer, but right now they stand 9 points behind going into the fourth quarter. The leading scorers after 3 for the Nuggets: Orlando Woolridge, 26 points. Michael Adams with 22. Walter Davis has 12, and Blair Rasmussen with 10. Those are the lone Nuggets in double figures. For the Sixers, Charles Barkley has 33. Hersey Hawkins with 12. And then off the bench, Ron Anderson, 12 points, and Andre Turner with 10.
And Charles Barkley remains on the sidelines at the start of the fourth quarter. We saw him miss 3 consecutive free throws, and a very tired young man.
Nuggets start with Adams, Lichty, Davis, Woolridge, and Rasmussen. The Sixers have Turner in the backcourt with Hawkins, Anderson, Mahorn, and Jason Williams up front. Now the all-star of the night on the opponent is Andre Turner. We saw Gerald Patio take off in the Cleveland game. Of course, Cedric Sabalas in Phoenix, the all-time. So it is Turner who's up for tonight's Cedric Sabalas Award.
Nice pass that time by Turner, and he had Mahorn the entire length of the court, just waited for Rick to get in position.
Jason Williams right on top of Orlando Woolridge once again.
Take a second look at it. Orlando again going to the hoop, and Williams thought he had another block. The official says no, and Orlando will go to the line. A chance for his 27th and 28th points tonight.
Williams at one point projected as a possible lottery pick. Then he had the leg injury at St. John's, missed a good portion of the season. Drafted late in the first round by Phoenix, had the contract problems there. Suns very happy to unload him. Williams preferred to play an East Coast team and winds up here in Philadelphia, right down the road from his hometown of New York City. 22nd timeout called by the Sixers.
And again, good full court pressure by the Nuggets. There was no available option for Mahorn. All of his receivers were covered. He had to take the timeout before he got the 5-second count.
One of our guests on tonight's game will receive a gift from Panasonic. Panasonic just slightly ahead of our time. And we're just trying to figure out which one of the guests will be the lucky one. Fourth quarter action. The Nuggets have been looking uphill throughout, trying to get over the hump.
And here's a good shot of the Nuggets defense. All the receivers are covered. Mahorn has to take the 22nd timeout.
76ers have won 7 of their last 9. Fourth game of the season, they lost Johnny Dawkins, who is emerging as a top flight point guard. Jason Williams the turnaround, and it's run down by Walter Davis. So now they are mixing and matching. They're looking to pick up another player, either a guard or a forward who would be a factor. Adams with 24. A few weeks ago, there was talk of Michael Ray Richardson coming back from Europe to sign here. Mitchell Wittgen's name has been mentioned. Adrian Danley still looking for a team. Ron Anderson is red hot tonight, hitting from all spots. Rasmussen, swish, and another assist for Michael Adams. 11 assists for Adams. 110-101. Andre Turner, all the room in the world. 14 points for Andre Turner, having one of his great games as a pro. 2 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Rasmussen again. Philadelphia trying to build up the lead with Barkley on the bench. Anderson saw Mahorn. The way he's shooting, should have taken it. Davis pulls the trigger. And Jason Williams doing a nice job inside for Philadelphia. Hawkins toes the line. Ripped down by Orlando Woolridge. 8 rebounds for Woolridge. Now Woolridge with a running start. And he hits the 30 mark for the 9th time this season.
And that time Jason Williams was a little preoccupied with Walter Davis in the corner. When you're guarding Orlando Woolridge, you better know where O is at all times.
Avery Johnson is getting ready to come in to give Michael Adams a spell. It has been a disaster for Chris Jackson tonight. And Paul Westhead is going to skip over Chris here in the fourth and try to keep the pace with Johnson as he gives Adams a rest.
And a couple of fresh 76ers check in too. Not very good defense by the Nuggets here. You can't afford to let a man just dribble through 2 of you. When you try to double team, you've got to get to the offensive man and keep him contained. When Hawkins dribbled through both Blair and Todd, he had an open alley to the basket.
Mahorn gets a rest, as does Jason Williams, who hears it from the crowd.
Jerome Lane also returned for the Nuggets for Walter Davis.
Hawkins also had 8 steals in that ball game. Well-rounded athlete he is becoming, all-scorer in college. Very tentative as a rookie. We talked about that before, but he's added his offense. Last year started driving to the basket even more. Manute is in, back door to Lichty. Nice play. Rasmussen to Lichty. And Lichty in double figures with 11.
That's exactly what you want to do. Todd's defensive man that time turned his back, had no idea where he was, and he went straight to the basket.
Turner using Barkley as a decoy, and Rasmussen rips it down. 9th rebound for Blair Rasmussen. Woolridge walks in on goal, and Lane gets another offensive rebound. Woolridge trying to go around the basket, and once again you're seeing the presence of Bol completely changing O's shot. He had the dunk. Misfiring is Blair Rasmussen. Nuggets a chance there to move to 7 back. Nuggets just have not made the shots they've had to make tonight. 7:50 though, still left. Anderson with Lane right on him. Ron Anderson, 16 points. You're seeing vintage Anderson tonight.
When he's shooting like that, Al, you have to get up on him and make him put the ball on the floor.
Rasmussen trying to pull Bol away from the basket. And it's a 14-point night for Blair Rasmussen. Shooting 7 of 17 from the floor. Hawkins walks in. This one goes against Philadelphia. It is number 4 on Hawkins.
And Blair grimaces in pain as Hawkins gets around Todd, but looked like he might have got Blair in the chest with an elbow. Blair really in some pain, but he's still in there.
Jim Farmer checked in. Good stint in the first half. 7 minutes. He scored 6 points. Man who was cut by the Nuggets at the end of preseason. Avery Johnson, one of the players who beat Farmer out. 6 on the shot clock. Lichty's got to fire it. And once again, Nuggets another shot to get it down to 7. Turner by Anderson. And it's back the other way. Nice pass by Johnson. Manute having Jerome think about it. 35 for Barkley. His first point in the fourth quarter. Now it's a 13-point lead. Just moments ago, Nuggets with the ball and a chance to cut it to 7.
Now Blair's got to hit that shot to draw Manute away from the goal. We've seen him change up 2 shots here the last couple of trips. First Orlando's shot, and then the last time down, Jerome almost threw the ball over the backboard because of Manole's presence.
Farmer lets it fly. Here's Avery Johnson. Johnson has his opportunity to find more time.
Johnson.
Played only 1 minute in the Boston game. That's after he played more than Jackson in Cleveland. Remember, Jackson played like 8 minutes and Johnson played 15. But in that stretch, Johnson made 2 costly turnovers, and you didn't even see him in Boston. He played actually less than a minute. Came in the final 20 seconds late in the half. 24-second violation.
It's amazing, as you saw the bench scoring. We thought that would be a place that the Nuggets would have the advantage tonight.
Timeout in Philly.
Before this, you never heard of cold filtered. Before this, you never heard of genuine draft taste in a bottle. Now hear this. Get out of the old, get into the cold.
Cold filter taste what it's all about. Never heat pasteurized, so the rich, smooth taste all cooked out. For those who discover its real draft taste, the world can be a very cool place.
Get out of the old, get into the cold. Miller Genuine Draft.
Hey, everybody knows we don't stop running until the clock stops running. I hustle when I have to, but off the court, I like to let somebody else do the running. So I go to McDonald's. I get my meal in 59 seconds, or I get a coupon for something free. And no matter when I show up, that's always great stuff for 59 cents. 59 anytime in 59 seconds. Now that's a fast break, and that's my McDonald's for you.
Next on tap for the Nuggets, the Charlotte Hornets with Rex Chapman and J.R. Reed, Del Curry, and the greatest player to come out of Kentucky since Dan Issel, Rex Chapman, and the Charlotte Hornets. That's tomorrow night on tap from the Charlotte Coliseum at 5:30. You'll see it right here on Channel 2. Chapman, Dan, certainly one of the explosive young players. Now they're just trying to teach him which shots are good shots.
Exactly, and it looks like he's making some progress. I checked this afternoon, and he's up to about 48% from the field, which is much higher than he's been the first 2 years.
And once again, Nuggets go up against Muggsy Bogues.
Ricky Green returns for the Sixers.
Well, it's a 9-point Sixer lead with 5.5 minutes to go. Top guns, number 1 in the league, Woolridge. Number 2 is Barkley. And both having 30-point performances with good amount of time left on the clock. Woolridge tries for 2 more. And we'll see how Bol reacts to this one. He has not been very pleased with the first 2 calls against him. And the replay substantiating he fouled on both of those.
Orlando comes away with the offensive rebound and goes right at Manute. Wasn't much question about that. Besides, I think Manute's too tired to complain about the call. He's been standing with his hands on his knees. Now he straightens up for the first time since he was whistled for the foul.
Now, there's been talk with the kind of system the Nuggets had. They need a big shot blocker to kind of hang back. Do you think Manute Bol would have fit into this system?
No, not at all, because at this speed, Bol would only be playing on the defensive end. Every time the Nuggets were on offense, they'd be playing 4 against 5.
Well, with some of the scores the Nuggets have, that may be fine with them. Nuggets get it down to 7 and 5 minutes on the nose. Nuggets have been behind throughout. Here's the time they got to make their move, and they get the ball and are on the run. Adams one-on-one on Green into the hands of Davis, and he misfires.
Well, we talked about it in the opening, Al. When you play on the road, especially when you play against good teams, all you can expect is to give yourself a chance to win the game down the stretch, and it looks like Denver's done that again tonight.
Barkley carries tied up by Walter Davis, and there's the whistle. Davis gets number 1. Davis a little under the weather, missed the shoot around tonight, and you know for sure Walter wants to be there tomorrow when he returns home to Charlotte.
Take another look at it as the pass goes into Charles. Walter tries to help out and gets a lot of bicep, but not much basketball.
Barkley has missed his last 3 foul shots. Make it 4. 6 of 11 from the line for Barkley, who shoots 74% from the line.
Might be that hangnail, Charles.
Taking some extra time. And it's 5 straight from the line missed by Barkley. Adams streaking back. Lane stops and pops. Woolridge goes in. Barkley controls. Rebound number 18 for Barkley. Green. Barkley clearing the track. Anderson keeps it alive. Down to 4 minutes. Anderson with 20.
Ron had a chance to shoot about an 8-footer there and dribbled it out and took a 20-footer.
Woolridge Hammer can't believe it. He says, wait a second, what was the number of the truck that got me? And no call. But now, yes, a whistle has been blown. Anderson gets his first foul.
Todd checks out. Walter sits down, and I don't think Walter's feeling very well tonight.
Question of whether he would play or not, and he's seen action tonight. 12 points for Davis. Now Woolridge, who goes to the line for the 15th and 16th time. 13 of 15 from the foul line for Orlando Woolridge. He had missed 2 of his first 3 shots, and he has made 12 straight.
And thanks to the 5 straight misses from the line by Barkley, Orlando's closed to within 1 of their personal game within a game.
34 for Woolridge, 35 for Barkley. Barkley hanging around the basket. He's now being watched by Lichty. Now Woolridge gets over there with down to 3:38. Green floater. Rasmussen saves. Adams with 3 Sixers back. Goes for 3. Barkley clears the track for his 20th rebound of the ball game. The hot hand, Anderson. And Ron Anderson in a groove. Sixers now by 9. Lane with the left hand, and he is fouled. Hammered by Rick Mahorn. Jerome Lane in double figures with 10 points to go along with his 12 rebounds.
And that was a great lesson for all the youngsters that are watching. Watch Jerome take it to the left hand. He knows the contact is coming. Mahorn doesn't back away from confrontations like that. So he puts the ball in the left hand, misses the free throw, or he would have had a 3-point play.
Lane 2 of 5 from the foul line tonight. Jerome with 12 rebounds, 7 on the offensive boards. Delayed call, and it's the right one, a traveling violation on Hawkins. The Nuggets will call a timeout. 2:57 left. Getting down to the final 3 minutes. Nuggets still hanging 7 points behind.
What would you say if people...
First look at Xavier McDaniel in a Phoenix Sun uniform, joining forces with Kevin Johnson and Tom Chambers. Trade made today. Seattle sending Xavier McDaniel to Phoenix in return for Eddie Johnson and 2 #1 draft picks. Our understanding it's the 1991 pick and either 93 or 94. Barkley forces and gets to the line. Jerome Lane, his 3rd personal foul.
You can bet, as we'll take another look, Jerome giving Barkley all kinds of room, but Charles still gets to the middle, heaves it up there to make sure he gets the 2 free throws. I'm not so sure at this point if Charles wants to go to the line.
That's 7 straight misses. Well, check that, 6 straight misses for Barkley. We've lost count. They've been so many. He's now 6 of 13 from the foul line. He was 6 of 7. Charles Barkley with 21 rebounds to go along with his 35 points. And finally, cans one. Crowd gives him a hand. Charles Barkley's career high in rebounds, 25, and that came against the Denver Nuggets 3 years ago. Jerome Lane in the hunt for another offensive board, but can't hold on.
That was a good effort by Jerome. It was just a Todd was standing between he and the basketball, and he couldn't come away with it. Watch for the 76ers. I was going to say to become a little more deliberate here, and Hersey Hawkins throws up a three-pointer.
Lane battling Adams. Adams for three, no. Michael is now 1 of 7 from downtown and has more success going inside. 26 points for Adams. Here's the steal. Woolridge, they need it, and once again can't get it. That would have cut the lead to 4.
And they've got the 76ers playing stupid basketball. Hawkins with the three-pointer. They turn it over on the full court press. They just can't take advantage of it because of the poor shooting.
Nuggets shooting at 40%. Anderson hasn't missed many until then. Nuggets throw it away. Another blown opportunity. And with Michael Adams running there, three-pointer could have sliced it in half. Now the 76ers will use the clock. The foul would have counted.
Personal foul,
Michael Adams gets his second personal foul. Charles Barkley, somebody may have to help him to the foul line.
Charles Barkley will be in the line shooting 2.
Sixers lucky they do not have a game tomorrow. A matter of fact, very fortunate they don't play until Tuesday. I think Barkley is going to be in bed until then. 1:05 to go. We'll be back in just a moment.
Set the time machine ahead 40 years.
Cold filtered, never heat pasteurized Miller Genuine Draft.
Don't worry, Judy. I'm sure the future will be a very cool place.
For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
It works. What would you say if Pizza Hut served up?
Welcome back to the final 65 seconds of this ball game. The Nuggets hanging close, but now running out of time. And again, we talked about the fatigue factor as far as Barkley is concerned. I think we're also seeing it for the Nuggets. This is the third game in 7 nights for Philadelphia, but the third game in 4 nights for Denver.
Yeah, and as well as the Nuggets have played on this road trip, when the season started, you figured the Charlotte game was the most winnable game on the trip. But playing 4 nights in 4 games in 5 nights in 4 different cities, it's going to be a tough assignment for the Nuggets to bounce back from this one and be able to go right out again tomorrow night.
When you're on road trips like this, sometimes it even seems like 5 games in 4 nights. Charles Barkley, though, does come out for the final minute 5. Doing one of his stand-up routines with the crowd. Barkley, 36 points and 21 rebounds. Eight of 15 from the foul line. Charles Barkley had been to the foul line just twice in the first half. This is his 14th foul shot in the second half. Well, he's found his range once again from there, and he has 38. Woolridge with 34 points will keep his #1 standing coming out of this game. Adams now with a big night, 28, 1 shy of his season high. Down to 54 seconds. The Nuggets trying to tighten the noose. So Jimmy Lynam calls another timeout.
Well, once again, an outstanding performance by Michael Adams in just 31 minutes, Al. 28 points, 12 assists, and you can really tell the difference when Michael goes to the bench. Let's take a look at that last basket by Michael as the outside shots are not falling as much as Michael would like, but it hasn't stopped him from going to the basket. Did you see how high Barkley was? And Michael really having to throw it up high on the glass to get it over Barkley. Watch how high Barkley gets on this block attempt. but it's 2 more for Michael.
What a feel. How does he hit those kind of shots? Well, Michael Adams explained when he was in high school. Actually, he was always obviously the smaller player, and he has taken that shot so many times trying to get it over the bigger player. Adams has 3 field goals late here in the 4th. Against Boston the other night, he ended with 31, but Adams did not score in the last 10.5 minutes, and he wore out in the Boston game, but finding some extra strength here. Paul Westhead has seen improvement in his club. There's no question. The first 2 games of this trip, Cleveland and Boston, perhaps the 2 best games the Nuggets have played this year. And Westhead says that they still have to overcome the challenge of running on every possession and playing full court defense.
And you know, it's always an uphill battle for the Nuggets when they come into this building. Denver has had less success in this building than any other floor in the NBA. Just 2-15 here since the Nuggets joined this league.
Teams split the season series last year. Nuggets winning at home by 3, and Philadelphia winning here 149-131, which was the highest scoring game at the Spectrum last season.
Well, everybody's talking about the run and gun offense of Paul Westhead, but last year the score much higher than we have right now around the NBA. You see some of the scores. Portland continues on a roll, now 17-1, and Phoenix, I'm assuming without the X-Man, winning in Jersey rather easily, and Seattle also without the X-Man have a 1-point lead in Orlando in the 4th. Boston doing a job on Dallas, and without Tarpley, Dallas just not the same club.
Charles Barkley, for the 2nd consecutive game, hits the 40 mark. Orlando Woolridge at 36. Woolridge's season high for the Nuggets is 40. Anderson chases it down, and now the Sixers trying to use as much of the clock as possible. Todd Lichty has fouled out of the game. Well, Pete Vesey, the colorful columnist, basketball columnist, USA Today, talking about some possibilities, some intriguing ones. One that might send Alex English to Atlanta in return for Moses Malone. Dallas looking for some inside help, and Alex English getting to the passing game where he is struggling in Dallas. And also another Peter Veseyism when Fat Lever returns after his injury, that he may be marketed for another player. Woolridge tries for 3.
And another quick foul. The Nuggets at this point in the game don't have much choice but to foul and hope the 76ers will miss them, and then shoot the 3-pointers down at the other end. And the Nuggets going to take a timeout so they can talk strategy. Down by 8, less than 30 seconds to go, and 76ers going to the free throw line.
Now, in all your years as knowing Peter Vesey, goes back to the ABA, once a beat writer for the New York Nets, what percentage has he hit right?
Oh, I don't know. It'd be hard to come up. I do know this. I talked to Pete Babcock earlier in the week, and at that time he was actively talking to every team in the league looking to make a deal. However, since then, they have won in Houston, in San Antonio, and tonight they have beaten Milwaukee. Or excuse me, they lost at home to Milwaukee. Milwaukee comes back to win that one. So Pete looking to make a deal, but Peter Vesey won not to let the facts stand in the way of a good story.
Next on tap for the Nuggets tomorrow night in Charlotte. We'll be getting a look at Alan Bristow's Charlotte Hornets. The Hornets, who are vastly improved here in their 3rd season in the NBA, hovering around that 500 mark with 8 wins and 9 losses. And it'll be a confrontation of Orlando Woolridge against Armin Gilliam up front, and Michael Adams and Muggsy Bogues go going at each other in the backcourt.
And speaking of Orlando, there it is. He is on top of the standings, at least for now. Barkley in second position. Michael Jordan always near the top, and King and Robinson round out the top 5.
Woolridge with 36, Barkley with 40. Close enough for Orlando to hold the edge over Barkley coming out of this game. We're down to 28 seconds left in the ball game, and the Sixers right now with the 8-point bulge, and Ron Anderson trying to put the final nail in the coffin right here. Anderson, one of the stars for the Sixers tonight. 22 points coming off the bench. He has hit 10 of 16 from the floor, and he has done it in just 22 minutes of play. .24 now for Anderson. Adams using the pick of Chris Jackson, who makes, I believe this is his only appearance here in the second half. Davis, Anderson right on him, and it's rebound number 22 for Charles Barkley. Final 10 seconds. Referees want to get out of here. They haven't called that foul, and now they finally do.
Well, they gave Chris every opportunity to change his mind, but Jackson still deciding, even with a 10-point deficit, he wanted to put Hawkins on the line.
Jason Williams goes in. He'll replace Barkley, and Barkley will hear it. 40 points, 22 rebounds in 27 minutes. He was 14 of 19 from the floor, 11 of 18 from the foul line. Also 7 turnovers by Barkley.
And most of them came in the first half when he was trying to be the point man, taking the ball out of bounds against the Nuggets full court pressure. They quickly got Charles out of that position.
Hawkins now with 24, and the final seconds tick down. Quick shot by Jackson, and that one he hits. Jackson had to be very relaxed with that, and he puts it through. And that is the end of the ball game. The 76ers led from start to finish by as many as 18 points. Nuggets always on the doorstep in the second half, but could not overcome Sir Charles, who led the way with his 40 points. The final score, the 76ers 135 and the Nuggets 126.
Before this, you never heard of cold filtering. Before this,
Philadelphia 76ers by 9 over the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets still looking for their first win on the road. Tonight's Miller Lite All-Star of the game is none other than Sir Charles. Potent power inside. 40 points, 22 rebounds. The Miller Brewing Company will make a $100 donation to the Net Foundation in the name of Charles Barkley. So Barkley leads the way. Hersey Hawkins and Ron Anderson each with 24 points to support Barkley. Barkley had 42 points in a game Tuesday night against Milwaukee, and he comes back with 40 tonight. Woolridge with 36. Adams with 28 for the Nuggets, who head on to Charlotte tomorrow night, and you'll see it right here on Channel 2 starting at 5:30.